Yo, what is going on? How is everybody doing today? Welcome to the Risen Fallen Podcast. Happy Monday morning. I hope that you are doing well. It is Monday, August 25th today. And so happy Monday morning. I hope that you are doing well. My name is Mark Hendrickson, and I am the host of this podcast. And if you're brand new to this, then what you can expect is open and authentic conversations about things like mental health, self-development, and how to get your life moving in the right direction. If you're not feeling good about where you are right now, at least having the confidence, knowing that you are moving in the right direction, one step, 1% of one at least 1% every day, one step forward every single day. And I hope that you guys are doing well. I am doing pretty well. You guys ever I log into social media sometimes. And I was just joking about this with Teddy this morning. You know, you log in, you kind of see your friends, or you see some people you know, or some people you follow, and they're kind of like, not really just doing they're just kind of like doing maybe some dumbass shit, like some shit that you're like, dude, you do that? You fucking, and these are people you love, people you like, and you just look at them and you're like, dude, why would you do that? Let alone brag about doing it on social media. And then you sit there and think about to yourself, how many dumbass things do I do, man? Like, I do so many dumbass things. It is crazy to judge somebody that way. And I do it, dude. I do it every fucking day. Literally, that's part of the reason I don't like going on social media as a consumer, is because when I go on social media as a consumer, literally everything I'm doing is just like either sitting there judging people, going like silently in my head being like, what a fucking idiot, what an idiot, what an idiot, as I scroll through these fucking videos of just like, well, it just goes to show what my algorithm's like. It definitely is just basically rage bait. That's what provokes reactions from me, and so therefore that's what Big Papa serves up for me. Big Papa being the algorithm. I just kind of picture myself kind of just being a kid with legs too short to hit the floor, just kind of swinging off at the kitchen table or whatever. And just like your dad comes by and he's just like, this is the fucking slop that you're getting today. And it's that's my algorithm, you know? And so with all that being said, with all that, what's going on? Happy Monday morning. And I hope that's a good reminder to... You know, just remember when you're looking at social media, you're watching whatever fucking things you're watching. Just remember, we all do stupid shit, all right? You know, and that is just kind of the world that we're in. There's going to be no more times where you're just by yourself and you try to do this thing. You're like, oh, I saw this guy do a backflip one time. I think I'm going to try this out. And you end up just like landing kind of funny. There's going to be no more times like that where you're by yourself thinking that you could do that, because your neighbor's got a Ring camera. Your other neighbor's daughter's cousin is an influencer and she was filming her walk that she was going on or whatever. You know, like you're on like 6 different angles every time that you're alone. And it is just going to be a weird-ass world now, and that is just something that I guess we're all going to have to come to terms with, is just you can flush your dreams and aspirations of having some sort of privacy and resemblance of just like being alone. And I was just talking about this the other day when I was at Home Depot. Shout out to George at Home Depot, because he is one of the homies that I see often. Not as often anymore. I haven't been working in Richmond as much recently. But anyways, I'm sitting there. I'm talking to George at Home Depot, if you're ever at the... Anyways. And so we're sitting there talking, and I'm like, bro, literally, and I think I've talked about this idea or this concept or theory, whatever, on the podcast. But if I haven't, or if I didn't explain it well enough, I've got this idea that, you know, like all these times that you're supposed to be alone. Right? Like when you're a kid, you're sitting on the school bus, or you're walking from this bus stop to your house, or, you know, you're taking a shit, you're, I don't know, what are the other things? You're walking through a mall, you have to go to the grocery store. There's all these times where, you know, you're kind of like alone, or you're not really talking to anybody, you're kind of just walking around. And those are the times you're kind of just like thinking about your thoughts, right? It could be thinking about like, oh, I'm excited for this. Oh, I'm nervous about that. I wish I prepared for this. oh, I remember this time that this happened or that happened or whatever it is. And you're just kind of milling about, loitering in your own brain, kind of like nothing's really going on. You're watching the rain go down the fucking window thing on the bus or whatever, and you're literally by yourself, just thinking. There might be other people around, but um, we all have had those times where you're just kind of like I said, you're kind of in public, maybe you're by yourself, but you're just kind of milling about in your own brain. And I think that that's an important time for all of us, like allowing yourself to be bored. I saw that written down, I feel like, in someone's house recently, or someone's wall, or an art project or whatever. But it was like, allow yourself to be bored, because out of boredom is where all our productive thoughts, all our rational, thoughts, sometimes irrational, but all of these corrective thoughts. It's when our ego tells us, like, hey, that thing that you should have done better, or you didn't do well enough, or you did really well, but there was this thing you could have improved on, or this person, you hurt their feelings, or whatever it was. Like, when you're alone and you get those types of thoughts, that is one of the purest forms of self-improvement. There's no one, going to judge you. You just get to mill about in your own brain and not have to worry about the fear of judgment, not have to worry about the fear of upsetting people or angering people or hurting people. You get to have your own hypothetical debate or conversation in your own head, or just watch the raindrops drop down the window, like when you're in these alone times, or when you're sitting on the toilet, or when you're in the shower. And the reason I bring that up is because I think that those times are super important. You're supposed to have that silence, that solitude, that alone time to just literally observe your own brain, observe your own thoughts. That was the, nowadays people brag, oh, I meditate 20 minutes a day. I do this, I do that. I'm so mindful. And it's like, bruh, your fucking dad used to do that just having a walk to work, Oh, you listened to your thoughts, you observed your thoughts for 20 minutes. That was most people's fucking... Dude, I sat on a school bus for 25 minutes every morning, and there was no... it was just like in the morning time, set at like 8 o'clock or 7:30 or whatever. Dude, 13-year-olds just sitting on a fucking bus, driving into, go to school. You're just watching the rain drop down and other people go to work. Dude, that's one of the purest forms of meditation right there. Aside from walking through the forest and sitting down on a stump of a tree that's 200 years old, and, the birds are chirping, you can hear light raindrops, but you're being protected from the canopy of trees, and you're sitting there meditating, fingers, legs crossed, fingers all like this, and you're just like, oh, like, aside from that, the next best thing, the most meditative you can possibly probably be, is on a school bus as a 13-year-old. And lo and behold, this is the point I'm trying to make. There's all these times in your life where you're supposed to be in your own head. You're supposed to be, not talking to people. You're supposed to be not ingesting any information at all. You're supposed to be sitting there, bored as hell, and allowing your thoughts to take over. Listening to your ego tell you, you could have done this better, you should have done this better, you didn't do this well enough. And sometimes you're going to listen to your ego say, hey, I'm really proud of you for doing that. Remember this time that we did this? Remember this success that we had? We're supposed to have those quiet times where your brain is just running wild, and you're just kind of sitting there and absorbing them. And nowadays, it's so easy to, you're sitting and waiting in line at a store, or you're sitting on the toilet, or you're sitting on the bus, or you're sitting at a red light for some people. And we have, podcasts going on in our ear. Obviously, I understand the irony of me saying that right now. And we have like music blasting everywhere. We have, light shows, LED signs everywhere. We have, well, you guys have read the Ted Kaczynski thing anyways, so... Is that who I'm talking about? The Unabomber? There's just like... we have our phones in our hands, in our pockets all the fucking time. You sit down... Dude, I feel like the first thing people think about when they go to use the bathroom when they go to take a dump or anything like that. It's like, dude, they make sure that their phone is on them before they make sure that their pants are off. You know what I mean? Like, it's like one of those things where we rob ourselves of this alone time, this like literally necessary alone time. We rob ourselves of that. How do we do that? We bring our phones, we into whatever we're doing. We into the shower, into the bathroom, into the car, into the bus, into the this, into the that. And it's like we literally rob ourselves of all that precious solitude, that mental alone time, that meditative time where we reflect on our own thoughts. And what does that do? Well, in my eyes, what that does, and again, this is probably something I've talked about before, but it's like if you are robbing yourself of your much needed alone time, where is that going to put you? It's going to put you in a position where you're yearning for that alone time. And then where does that lead us? Exactly where we are right now, where you can be in a room of 5 people and they're all sitting there on their phones. And I get it. I get we're in a different world. It's a completely different world now. And, technology is increasing at a growth rate that we literally cannot wrap our heads around. And I get that makes the world look a little bit different. I'm sure that if you, if you took 5 guys that were sitting around, 200 years ago and then told them, 5 guys in the future are going to be sitting around a screen. They would be like, that's ludicrous. But yet we still have movie theaters, right? And so like it's kind of like I get that technology evolves, and then you take people with movie theaters and you're like, yo, actually, instead of gathering in 30, 40 people, to watch the same movie on a screen, we're all just going to sit in a room and have like 7-inch screens that we all just individually look at. And people will be like, what the fuck? Like, why would we do that? That doesn't make any sense. Isn't the bigger screen better? Like, we were all like that before. And now, you go to a barbecue, you go to a birthday party, or you go to a restaurant even. You go out at all, and all you see, like probably 70, 80, sometimes 90% of the people that you see are literally sitting there like NPCs on their phone. Like out in public, and they have like 4 pre-recorded answers that they've got going on. Hey, how's your day going? Living the dream. Oh, doing this. And it's like that's literally the most NPC you possibly can be. And so, in my reflection of like how the hell did we get here and what's going on and why are people like this? I've realized that there is this kind of because, dude, there's so many times where I go out in public and I'm like literally walking past somebody and I'm looking in their eyes to see if they'll actually look back at me and to see like what's going on in their eyes. And sometimes if they don't look at me, I'll literally be like, yo, hey, how's it going? Maybe you almost bump into me, but then you just don't even look. Like, it's like, yo, what the fuck? And it's not like an aggressive thing. It's just like, yo, how's it going? Like, I like genuinely to connect to people. And people get uncomfortable sometimes because you might be working at like a store or something like that. Because I go, obviously, like doing home renovations. You're in different stores, different suppliers all the time. And I'll ask people on a daily basis every single time. Just simple human being, regular ass things. Like, how's your day going? How are you today? How's the day been around the store? You guys busy right now? You slow right now? I'll just ask them questions, because that's genuinely how I am. I like to interact with people. I like to have positive interactions with people. And I'm just genuinely curious and kind of friendly like that. And, it amazes me how many times people are genuinely surprised that people will talk to them. And again, it stuns me. It literally makes me so frustrated sometimes as well. But I do have to check myself. I do have to think when I'm judging people. I think, there are times when I go to the grocery store and I want to throw my headphones on while I go shopping and not fucking talk to anybody and, not connect with people and just kind of be by myself and be in my own world. And I really have to ask myself, like, why is that? Why? Because that is so unhuman and so unnatural to just like imagine like any other, you just walking past all these people and you're just like not not going to smile at them, not going to make eye contact with them and ask them how, and I get like if you see 400 people in a Walmart, you're not going to individually ask every single person. But like, dude, you see people and you see people. It is it's so natural for us because all of us feel that way. Sometimes you see that person in the store, you're like, fuck, that's the last person I want to talk to. But it's like, dude, again, we rob ourselves of that solitude and alone time, and then we crave it when we're actually around people. And then when we're around people, we resort back to the opposite. We act the opposite way. And it is just like a weird kind of, whether it's a paradigm or whatever cool word that's hard to spell that you could say really easily. I don't know. But, it is a weird relationship between this alone time and social time, and why there is this conflation of like why you see these NPC ass people walk around just like head down scrolling through things, and it's like, well, they're craving some sort of mental solitude. They're craving some sort of literally yearning for silence and for so that they seek it out in ways that are, I guess what you could say is just like in plain terms, it's just an inappropriate time. It's not really appropriate to just be sitting there scrolling, as you're walking through traffic. It's not really human to avoid social interaction. We are a social creature by nature. And so you got to really ask yourself, and maybe that is what we're going towards. Just an unhuman, unnatural fucking, we're all going to be dickless and socially, we'll all just be like autistic. We won't have any social interaction. We won't have any, we'll all just be walking around with headphones on, plugged in, fucking listening to the same podcast. And then the only interaction we'll have is just like talking about the same. Hey, did you see this meme? Hey, did you listen to this podcast? Hey, did you do this? Yeah, of course I did. I listened to the same 4 things that you listen to because that's the only people you talk to. Wow, that's amazing. Like, that's literally what we're going to be. Like, we're just going to be like this weird, opinionless, dickless, fucking, autistic. And I'm saying autistic. I think you guys know what I mean. Just this poor social interaction skills. Just fucking, you got to really think what direction you want to go in. Because I know that for myself, I kind of think back into to the glory days of what I consider to be the glory days of the 90s or whatever. This yearning for, can we just put the phone down for a little bit? Take your headphones out for a little bit. Go for a run. These normal ass things seem so extreme. It is hilarious. These types of things where it's like guys now that they go on social media and they brag. Like I was joking about the meditation earlier, but it's like guys go on social media now and they brag like, oh, I go for runs. I train without headphones. It's just raw dogging it. Just out there, just just me and the road. And you're like, yo, that's how everyone ran up until like fucking 30 years ago. Probably 20 years ago. And all these like natural things of just like, it's like, that's actually the more human thing. I can't believe people like literally brag about things like that. And it's like, I guess it is kind of noteworthy because most people can't go for a run without like, well, I have to have the right socks and the right shoes and the right weather outside, the right conditions, my running hat. I have to have my headphones on. I don't have a new episode of this podcast, so I can't go. Or I need to listen to my chill run fall 2025 playlist so that I can go on a run. And it's like, dude. Anyways, on that note, I think that's a beautiful place to wrap this up. We're approaching 20 minutes here. We're at 20 minutes here, and it's like, dude, let yourself be bored. Let yourself be alone. Allow yourself that time to reflect on your thoughts, to reflect on maybe your behaviors, etc., and listen to yourself. Listen to the thoughts that you have. Allow yourself to be bored, allow yourself to be alone. And if you can do that, then obviously allow yourself to be social when you're around people as well. And know the times of what you're supposed to be doing. Because when you're supposed to be alone, you're not supposed to be just hearing people's opinions. You're not supposed to be hearing gossip about other people's lives. You're not supposed to be seeing what your neighbors are all doing or what they're thinking or what they're, whatever. It's like you're supposed to just be alone. And then when you're around those people, that's when you're supposed to actually be talking to people and hearing these like little things, like the water cooler talk and we've got it mixed up. We do the alone time stuff when we're with people, and we do the people stuff when we're alone. I think that's a beautiful place to wrap this up. So see you guys next Monday. Much love. Peace out. Go be human beings. Bye. Peace.